All right, welcome back to another video lesson in the ChatGPT for Beginners course. It's time to look at creating images with DALL-E 3. Once again, I want to point out you only have access to this feature as a ChatGPT Plus user if you pay $20 per month. At least that is the price early 2024. So that is exciting and fun. You'll just go to ChatGPT, enter a prompt, and it will give you an image based on your prompt. So let's start. Again, keep in mind in your ChatGPT Plus, the important thing is that this feature is based on DALL-E 3. So to just show you here, if you want to learn more about DALL-E 3, you can just go to OpenAI website here. And basically, DALL-E 3 is a very, very powerful text-to-image model. It's an image generation model and has been trained upon billions and billions of images to understand what the images look like, what they portray, so that if you give it a text prompt, it will know an image to create that looks similar to the images that it has learned from. Yeah, and what DALL-E 3 excels in is that in other image generation models, you need to give very specific type of prompts that are not natural language per se, but they're a little more complex, like we'll be looking at Midjourney in another course. But here with DALL-E 3, you can just describe a sentence or number of sentences. And because it has GPT-4, it understands natural language so well that that it understands what the image should look like. And here, OpenAI is just giving some examples of what a sentence looks like then of an image. And of obviously DALL-E 3's more advanced versions. There have been previous versions of DALL-E. But I think this here is the core sentence. DALL-E 3 is built natively on ChatGPT, which lets you use ChatGPT as a brainstorming partner and refining your prompts. Just ask ChatGPT what you want to see in anything from a simple sentence to a detailed paragraph. So exactly, that's also what I would tell you is basically you can go back to seeing it as an iterative process. Let's look at the example that they're doing here. So this is the text prompt. You just enter prompt, and then DALL-E 3 will give you an image. This is important, by the way. This has changed. Originally, when they launched it, you often got 2 or 4 versions of an image. But because the feature was so popular, they had to reduce this to 1 image in order to lower the amount of compute that they had to do with their servers. But again, you just have it in a natural sentence. It will create an image for you, and then based on an image, you can download the image, or if you want to change it, you can just go back and create a variation of the image and tell ChatGPT to change the image accordingly. All right. So remember also skill-specific prompting. So ChatGPT has to know that you want an image as an output, so enter something like create an image, generate a design, or something of that nature. Let's just look at 2 sample prompts. By the way, those are taken from the free prompting guide, 500 best prompts for ChatGPT DALL-E 3 in the journey. What can you do with DALL-E 3 image generation such ChatGPT? Well, you can create a fashion design, for example. So let's just copy this live. I'll type it in here. Now it tells us it's creating an image, and maybe 15, 20 seconds later, hopefully, we will have finished draft. I'm keeping this in real time, by the way, so you can see that it works pretty fast. Maybe it takes 30 seconds at times, usually 10 to 15. Well, look at that. That's nice and very elegant. It also gives us a comment. But again, if you wanted to change any part of that, you could just go down here, type, and for example, you could say maybe you want the dress to be a little bit shorter. Then you can just type those here and say looks great, but I want to dress be it shorter. Please give opinion and updated design. Once again, we'll wait 10-15 seconds. And here is our updated design. And indeed, that's a bit shorter, at least on the draft here. All right, that's another example. What else can you do? You can also have Loba design if you want. Again, don't take, maybe not all of these images will be perfect to just use right away, but at least you get very detailed and high quality drafts that you can use to refer to a designer, or maybe finish them yourself depending on your own design skills. Let's just try the case of a Loba design. I'll again just copy this one from the prompt collection. But here I'm giving it a very create a logo, so it knows create an image. Then I write the name of the company. I give it some context for the company. And I also give more detail about what I want to see in the design or the kind of style that I want to see. Hit the enter button and wait for the design. I will now just fast forward this so we don't have to wait so long. And awesome. Now, I want to show you one more thing, which is including text in an image, which unfortunately right now, DALL-E 3 is not that amazing at yet. So I'll just ask for the revision. Great, but please include the name being briefs in the logo itself. We will get an edit, and now, unfortunately, again, this is just to show you the limitation. Using text in image does not work that well yet, and usually there is for some reason, and I think it's just a funny. All right, looks great actually. I mean, of course, it looks a bit different from the original, but looks quite similar. And the fun works because I was going to say, oftentimes when I try this, there is a typo in the text, but now it's perfect. Okay, great. I guess it just shows it's constantly adapting and getting better. Right, so logo design, like you can see here, that's another great use case for DALL-E 3 and image generation. Right. Okay, so again, you remember this is an iterative process. You don't have to peg a best draft right away. Don't worry. You can just ask for, if you don't like what you see, you can ask for completing a draft. If you're not fully happy, you could probably just ask for variation and tell ChatGPT exactly what you would like to have different. Unfortunately, text and image is not that great yet. So if you want to do that on Create, we still have to wait for better models. But then just use the image you get as an input and as a draft to maybe design your own in Canva or refer. Use it as a reference for your professional designer that you can hire on Upwork or Fiverr. What else? ChatGPT Plus, how you can create 10 or 20 images like this until you will run into a limit. So if you have ChatGPT tells us we have 14 messages in 3 hours with your Plus account, but when it comes to creating images, they are more computing intense, so we hit the limit sooner, and we don't have 40, but we have usually 10 to 20, at least just on my experience. Sometimes you get an error during image generation. That can also happen, don't worry. Basically, you just try again, and maybe you have to try 3 or 4 times, but then it will usually work. Also, maybe the servers are very busy that moment. You can try it an hour or 2 later. Keep in mind, again, for prompting images, be more specific, tell the style or color scheme for a better chance of getting what you want. Now, of course, if you don't really have a specific idea, just give the generic idea, and it's great to brainstorm and to get a sense for what it could look like. If you know exactly what you want, then tell ChatGPT so that it can give you that. And typical elements are the style, the color schemes, or maybe certain things you want to have included in the image. So you can also tell it what you don't want to have included. And that's the basic introduction into creating images and illustrations with DALL-E 3 inside ChatGPT. All right, one more thing I wanted to share with you are use cases for DALL-E 3. If you still need some more inspiration, just go to the free prompting PDF, about 500 best prompting ideas, because I also included 33 use cases for DALL-E 3. And again, whether it's graphic design like logos, banners, fashion design, those two I showed you. What you want to create an interior design idea for your own room, book covers, or at least book cover ideas that your designer can turn into something professional. Um, yeah, even means and landscape design. If you wanted to do a design to tell your tattoo studio what you want to get, or even a culinary presentation, right? Sky's the limit. You have to file here. And maybe before you do your own, just use any of these here, enter them, and let ChatGPT and DALL-E 3 create an amazing design for you.